for Jimmy Fallon as he welcomes Kevin Hart tonight.
Live from the Breaking News and Weather Authority, this is WEAU 13 News at 10.
Tonight at 10, the debate over keeping abortion in America legal was taken to the streets. Today is the Planned Parenthood Day of Action in the U.S., with abortion rights advocates protesting to stop the bans that have been passed in multiple states. In all, more than 50 organizations are participating in the Stop the Bans rallies happening in almost all 50 states. Many of the rallies are taking place in state houses, town squares, and courthouses. The protests come a week after Alabama enacted the strictest abortion law in the U.S. That state's ban makes abortion illegal in almost all cases, including cases of rape and incest. Meanwhile, back at home, those nationwide protests gained traction here in the Chippewa Valley. WEAU's Brooke Schwieters heard from locals who shared their concerns about the future of their rights. She's in the newsroom with the details.
That's right, Bob. Just outside of the federal courthouse in downtown Eau Claire, locals Stop the Bans protesters peacefully gathered to stand up against anti-abortion laws. Some told me while the wave of legislation hasn't made its way to the Badger State, worry is setting in that it could soon become a slippery slope. Nearly 40 years after U.S. Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade,
I saw it on Facebook and decided to show up.
The battle over abortion in the spotlight once again.
We're standing out here, we're letting our voice be heard.
Young protesters standing up for the first time. For Sandy Cosmo, Tuesday's Stop the Bans rally in Eau Claire.
The university, myself, we were fighting for these rights.
It's a step back in time.
This is just unconscionable.
As her own history repeats itself.
And I thought we had finished that in the 70s. I thought we had accomplished that, and now we're just seeming to be going back.
The clash over abortion rights heightened as new state laws which restrict or even ban abortion gain support across the country. What do you see happening next in this fight?
Hopefully what happens next is that people are going to take a look and see that we're not going to take this laying down.
Local rally organizer Mishka Wynn sharing her concerns if the Badger State became a part of the growing list.
If we don't stand up and try to do something soon, it could be a very slippery slope that could lead to the loss of rights for a lot of people.
Adding to the nationwide movement,
women's rights, human rights, and that's what this is about. So I want to support that.
Dozens of people in the Chippewa Valley did just that.
I'm proud of Eau Claire for being able to say we don't want this to happen, and to be able to do the peaceful protests about it.
Standing up and speaking out for the first time, and in Sandy's eyes,
we will fight this and we will eventually win our rights again.
Hopefully the last. And Bob, on this day of protest, Democratic Governor Tony Evers says he'll veto 4 Republican-authored anti-abortion bills if they reach his desk. The bills would go, among other things, force doctors to care for babies that survive abortions and end Planned Parenthood's Medicaid funding.
Lawyers for Colton True, the man